composition is the arrangement of objects and visual elements in your artwork, and it's arguably the most important thing that goes into a successful painting. A good composition draws the viewer into a painting and guides them through the experience so that they take in everything, and then the eye comes to rest on a focal point. But how do you create a successful composition? One key is to simplify. Simplify your composition. Downplay busy background elements by lightening values or blurring edges. A good composition has balance. All the objects and elements seem to belong and nothing stands out. There are three major kinds of balance: symmetry, radial symmetry, and asymmetrical balance. Symmetry is often the first thing we consider when we set up a composition, and it can be used very effectively. But unless the visual elements really lend themselves to symmetry, it can seem too formal. The rule of thirds can be helpful in deciding where to position visual elements in your painting. Just divide your canvas into thirds, vertically and horizontally, and place important elements near the intersection of the lines. The rule of thirds is really a simplification of the golden ratio. The golden ratio has been with us since the time of the Greek philosophers. It's an elegant mathematical way to describe the human ideal of beauty, and a great subject for the next tutorial. A golden ratio exists when a line is divided into two parts, and the longer part divided by the shorter part equals the sum of the two parts divided by the longer part. Numerically, this ratio is approximately 1.618. Here's a visual representation of how the golden ratio was used in the Little Birdie composition. If all this seems really complicated, don't worry. The very best tool you have for composition is your intuition. Play around with the visual elements in your composition. Draw some simple thumbnail sketches. Try different arrangements until something just feels right. Then use symmetry, the rule of thirds, or the golden ratio to solve any problems that come up. When I was working on Little Birdie, I was almost finished, but something just didn't feel right. I ended up using the rule of thirds and adding some darker value toward the top of the painting. That set things right, and I knew it was finished. Remember that one of the goals of a successful composition is to draw the viewer in and lead the eye around until it settles on a focal point. I wanted the bird to be the focal point in Little Birdie, but the high contrast between the banjo neck and the light-colored background could have competed with the bird for the viewer's eye. I solved this problem by blurring some edges along the banjo neck and the strings, and then I applied thicker paint with sharper edges and more detail on the little birdie. The eye is usually drawn to the part of a painting that has the highest contrast and the sharpest edges. Once I was satisfied, I decided to add my signature and call it finished. I hope you find some of these ideas useful in your own painting. I can't wait to start a tutorial on the golden ratio. See you next time.